Hello, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Storyboard, where today I'm joined by TurtleAmigo, an aspiring animator with some great content to watch. I've had quite the fun experience watching your content ever since I found your channel last year.
Ooh,
For
thank you.
those who
Um,
might not have seen your quality content, what can people expect when coming to your channel?
I make like just animated skits. I used to make storytime videos a while back, but eventually I got tired of making that sort of content, um, and just wanted to create something more like my own. And so I just started to do like skits and like experiment with like other sort of that type of animation, like more so like this kind of like a story. And I kind of wanted to focus more on that. Yeah, I used to do story time, but I don't do that anymore. Kind of want to move on from that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, why don't we start at the beginning? Like, what first got you into doing animation in the first place?
Okay, so it was back in I think early 2016 or like late of 2015, where like I wanted to start like my own YouTube channel. And back then, I wanted to do something like art related, like something like animation specifically, but like like I didn't have any animation experience, so I didn't know where to start. So I like kind of went through like animation on YouTube, just the channels, and I picked up on like certain channels like Jade Animations, Domix, this one animator called Matty Burrito, who he isn't a storytime animator, but he does like Pokemon animations, and I liked how he like it was like fluent, like frame by frame animation, and it was like I really liked that. So yeah, I started to do like just story time first, share some of my life experiences, and yeah, I eventually ran into like a group of other animators that wanted to like that made that sort of content. They were called the Kindergarten, and that was like a few years back, and that's how I started to make like more friends in the community.
I see. Awesome. So, back when you used to do storytime animations, you made a video about having strict parents, and I'm curious, what did they think about you having YouTube as a job?
At first, they saw it just as a hobby, just like I'm just drawing and stuff. They didn't think too much about it. They didn't care too much because back then I had a job anyways. So they weren't like, oh, you had no job and you're doing this. So like, what are you doing? I was like pretty smart about it. I told them what I wanted to do anyways, and like they supported it as long as like I'll be okay, like in terms of like monetary gain. They never like shut me down and all that because they knew I had a passion for it. But they did consider like, hey, as long as you make money in the future, like you make a living, like they'll support it. And then like I think a year ago, that's when I got my play button, and they saw that I got it in the mail, and like they were really like happy because like it was like a big like for them as like a trophy, and like, oh, it's from Google, like it's I think they took it as like a huge deal and all that. But yeah, like they never like discouraged me on it. It was just like, obviously be smart about it, like don't only rely on YouTube. And yeah, they support it.
That's awesome. It's great that they feel that way.
Hmm.
So, your YouTube channel was started on April 16th in 2016. What do you think are the main things that changed from that initial point to where you are right now?
Oh my God, a lot of stuff. For a while, it was always like fighting back and forth, like, should I delete my old content or just leave it? And I just like, like whatever, I'll just leave it. Just because for me, I want to reflect back on like the content I used to make and how my skills were 3 years ago. And it changed a lot, like the art style, coloring, and the sort of content I used to make. It was just all like completely different. Like the first story video I made, it was like the school hallways. It was like bad audio, bad line work. Like it was garbage. But yeah, it was just quality that like changed really. I learned how to like record better, learn the program better, tell stories better, and then I kind of developed that more and more as I made more videos.
Awesome. Good to know. How about we move on to questions about the present? What do your general day to day responsibilities look like?
For a while I didn't have a job, and I like focused more on YouTube and like just making more videos and making other art related content. But now lately I'm starting to get a job again. Like I have a job. I'm about to start working a week from now, so it'll be less time to work on my videos. And so now it would just be working, like just working on a different job, then working on my videos, and then other stuff like drawing, working on personal projects.
Okay. So you kind of made a transition from storytime animations to more comedy centered animations. Knowing the YouTube community, I felt like there must have been some kind of backlash against this kind of change. Was this the case for you? And if not, how did you go about making that transition?
I didn't see it as like, I don't know, like it wasn't really for me a negative thing. Like for me personally, it was just like I did not feel like doing this anymore. And I know like a lot of people like watching storytime videos a lot. Like it's like they would prefer that over I guess skits or other stuff. And for a while I was like hesitant to like make that transition, but it was just like I rather just like transition now than like later in the future and just like start making stuff that I like because certain people they might like get sick of the content that they make and then move on to other stuff. But I don't know. I never want to make stuff that like I don't really like making, you know, because it's just like what's the point? I'm just wasting my time. And all those skits like from my videos, I get in a way like less more views than storytime videos. It's just like I enjoy it way more. So that's like for me a win.
Hmm. So, how do you go about personally expanding your own fan base, or do you just let it happen naturally?
Yes, I focus more so like just like content first because for me, like just focusing on like the content that you're making and trying to like expand more on it. And then like eventually more people will like be interested in that sort of content. And that's when you start building your fan base. It's just like some people they focus on the fan base first and not the content itself. And I don't know. I don't think that's like a good way of going about it. It's just for me, content is like the most important because that's like what you're giving to the people and like you know what you're offering and yeah that's how like for me that's how I build my fan base.
Okay. Yeah, good to know.
So yeah, content's important.
Content definitely is. I think despite there also being a need for growing a fan base, I think it's also really important that you can personally enjoy the content that you put out and be happy that you put it out.
Hmm.
Where do you think new aspiring artists and animators make the most mistakes?
Hmm. I think it's just like they try to copy too much on like what the popular content creators are doing. Like they're not trying to like put out what makes them special like for in their content. They want to like straight up just copy, you know, like just a you know like nothing unique or anything. And they try to like you know see what's popular and they try to like ride that wave. Which for me it's like sure in the beginning like you don't know like what sort of content you want to like you know like or the art style that you would want to make, which is kind of fine to copy certain stuff, or it's fine to copy certain stuff. But try to like make it your own, right? Try to make it like unique and like try to do something that not that many people do. I don't know, just make it your own.
Give people a reason to watch you or something else.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can name one thing you do well in animation and one thing you think needs improvement, what would they be?
I feel like what I do well for me now is like learning to pick certain colors, like learning how to like, you know, work with colors. I've been doing that a lot better. Also, just certain characters, like character design. I try to make like certain characters not all the same. I don't know, I try to make them like stand out with like colors and like just certain attributes. I feel like for me, one thing that's like lacking is just more animation, like frame by frame. Like I don't do too many like just crazy like fluid animation. I just do like just simple moving frames. So I feel like I should maybe like focus a little bit more on frame by frame. But again, I don't see that like I'm not trying to go for that like fluid animation like every you know every single like second like other animators are. I guess it's just like the visuals really. But I would want to like try to make certain animation a bit better. But yeah.
So, what do you personally consider success in the YouTube animation community? How do you personally measure it?
For me, it's just like every video. Where have you been for like let's say like a video before and how you improved on that video? It's just improvement on like each video and seeing like, oh, you're growing. You're not like staying at like one place. And also like the fan base and how engaging and like how you're growing your channel. I just want to see myself like just improving on art and like just video by video. That's the most important thing for me, and I really consider that success on my part. I just want to improve and not like just stay at the same place for like a long time.
I see. Awesome. Why don't we start moving on to a little bit of the ending questions? Like, what are your plans for the future as a YouTuber slash animator? What is the end goal of it all? And what are you doing to achieve these goals?
For me, like the very, very like end goal is what I want to do for my YouTube channel is try to build an audience that enjoys my content and would want to stick around for the content and stick around on like my future projects. Because for me, I don't want to do YouTube forever because that's like, I don't see myself doing YouTube for like 10, 20 more years. I would want to do like more projects like comics, maybe if I have like like enough resources, I would want to most likely pitch a show and then just create like a sort of other projects outside of YouTube. Yeah. So mostly like animation and pitch a animation, create like comics and stuff. And then I'll already have the fan base that I had for YouTube and just like let them know that I'm creating other stuff for the future. So yeah, I just want to like create more stuff, like comics and stuff.
Got it. Is there any way that you're currently trying to achieve these goals? Have you started like making a new comic series that's in place, or have you started concepting new ideas?
Yes, I've done I've been doing a lot of like concept art, like just the characters and like what sort of like story I want to go with it. I've been doing that out, like in the background. So what I would usually do is I would work on my videos first, or like I would work on my videos and then when I'm done with my videos, I would take like a week or two off on like making content from YouTube and I would just draw like concept art and doing other stuff that I don't usually share a lot on like social media and stuff. I just want to like, you know, see if when it's ready, then I'll share it. And then after the 2 weeks that I'm done, like drawing or whatever, like the concept art, I transition back to like making animations on YouTube. So it's kind of like a back and forth. Just trying to balance that out.
Yeah, I hope that goes really well for you.
Thank you.
What are some socials people can find you on, and how can they support you in your personal YouTube career?
All of my socials are TurtleAmigo. You can just search up like Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. It would just be TurtleAmigo. That's what you mostly use.
Gotcha. I believe you also have a crowd made.
Oh, okay. So the thing is, I used to have a crowd made, but eventually, like I didn't like sort of like the I wanted to move on and not make merch because I feel like I'm not ready for that yet. So I kind of like stopped working with CrowdMade. So I used to have a CrowdMade, but now I don't.
Gotcha. So if people want
Yeah.
to support you, then the way is through YouTube.
Yes. Just if you watch my videos and if you think that if you feel that you enjoy my content and the stuff that I do now, you can feel free to subscribe. If not, it's fine.
Awesome. Are there any last words you would like to say before parting off?
If you're creating content and you don't know like how to start or like you need motivation, just start like watching stuff that like you feel you just look up to like animation and like the stuff that you're influenced by and just try to like make stuff that you enjoy. That's the main part, making stuff that you like. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. It was really awesome that we could make this happen. It was great to
Thank you.
have you. The links to Turtle Amigos channels and socials will be in the description below. Be sure to stay tuned for next time. Bye bye.
See ya.